Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All righty, welcome into a Thursday edition of the JP Peterson Show. It has been a huge week here on the show with Commissioner Chris Lappola joining us yesterday with some very intriguing thoughts on the stadium. And evidently, there's been an epiphany in Tampa Bay among the media on the Rays ownership situation. Suddenly, it's
shocking.
It's not the county's fault. Do they really want a stadium? They ever plan to build a stadium?
It's funny when reporters don't want to be the first to report something controversial, but when someone else does, they all jump on board, right? They all bandwagon it.
Well, it just, when the tide turns, then everybody jumps aboard. And luckily and finally it has, I think, against the Rays, because everybody's now seeing exactly what we've seen for a long time. So we're not going to talk a ton about the stadium today, but we'll just update you on where things stand. And we're going to get into a little bit of baseball talk on the field. There's some big news in college football, all around college football in terms of portal players. The Gators have just picked up a huge commitment from a Tampa player, and they got a big game coming up tomorrow here in Tampa. So the Gators are in town, and that's going to be fun. We'll talk some Bolts as they get set to go again tonight. And Sandra Golden's going to join us from 92.9 The Game, the Falcon station in Atlanta, former colleague. And we're going to get all the scoop. A lot of drama up in Falcon land. So we're going to do that as well. And, of course, we'd love to get your comments in here. I see Drew Jetson and Nathan Elliott are already in. Good morning to you guys.
They're starting
early.
Thank
you for joining us. Thank all of you for joining us each and every day. We really appreciate it. However you are doing it. And we're picking up tons and tons of new listeners and viewers over the past few weeks. So welcome aboard. We do this every morning live 10 to 12. You can always watch it afterwards on our YouTube channel, The JP Peterson Show and FanStream Sports, Apple and Spotify. You can always listen as a podcast. And we have an app, FanStream Sports app, that you can download and listen anytime, and all our great shows there. So got all that out of the way. So I want to jump right in with this huge flip this morning, and for the Gators, their class has now gone into the top 10 with this addition of 5-star receiver Dallas Wilson from Tampa Bay Tech right here in Tampa. He is an absolute monster, 6'3", 100. Well, actually, he's actually 205 now. He's 6'3", 205. He pledged to Oregon, and it was always kind of shaky. So now he's petitioned to get out of that deal and enter an NIL agreement with the Florida Gators, who now have 4 big-time receivers to join DJ Lagway and Trey Wilson, who's already there from Gaither High, to an absolute juggernaut passing offense for the Florida Gators moving into the next few years. And these kids are all young. I mean, Lagway obviously is a true freshman. He'll be playing in the bowl game tomorrow here at the Gasparilla Bowl against Tulane, kind of a launch for the 2025 season for him and the Gators, who obviously have built huge momentum down the stretch, beating Ole Miss, beating LSU, beating FSU. Who cares? But they are rolling, and they're rolling in recruiting, and this is just another humongous grab for them. And obviously, you never know how guys are going to pan out. But this is the number 2 rated overall receiver coming out of this high school class, number 29 overall by On3. By any rankings, the dude is a monster. I mean, he's got size, he's got speed, he's highly competitive. Billy Napier has, even after the Oregon commitment, Billy Napier never wavered, kept going after it. And you can do that now. Guys in these NILs, they just get released from the NIL agreement, and it's not like the old letter of intent days, and guys can transfer anyway, but it's easier to do. They can go anytime now, basically. So there you go.
I have questions about this, JP.
Okay.
This is what do the kids say? This is sus. This entire situation seems sus to me, if I can invoke a word that I'm not comfortable using. So he just signed this agreement with the Ducks 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He is 2 weeks into his relationship with the Ducks.
It's a long time ago.
He hasn't. I mean, I guess in college recruiting it is. He has a huge NIL deal there. I was trying to find the value of his NIL deal. It's through Elite Sports Management Group. So apparently the process is Elite Sports Management Group has to request his release from the NIL deal, which they just did this morning.
Right.
So if they have to request the release, does that mean that it can be denied?
I would guess.
No, we just signed this 2 weeks ago. He's ours.
I think so. I mean, I think your reasoning is sound. I'll be honest with you. I don't know exactly what the rules are, and I don't think anybody does. And I'm not sure there are any rules, to be quite honest. But it comes out of this. Timmy. If he doesn't want to play for you, how are you gonna make him play? You know.
But if the option is, look, we're not going to release you. Well, he's not going to play. Okay, cool. Well, if you don't release him from the deal, you have to pay him, right? So he could be playing in Florida, but still being paid by whatever this NIL collective in Oregon is. Which would also prevent him from signing any NIL deal in Florida because he's already under contract.
See, there you go. Trying to make sense and put rules and guardrails on NIL. I mean, what are you doing?
Get it, man.
What are you doing with this common sense stuff? What the
headache already?
Bro, it's the wild, wild west. You know, when Billy the Kid, sauntered out on Main Street in Pueblo, Colorado in 1852, were there ground rules before he started shooting up the place?
I mean, we might
I don't know.
Check our historical facts.
Give me that money. I'm gonna rob them banks. I don't know. Ain't no rules around here. This is Wild Wild West. Boom, boom.
Oh my God.
There's no rules, man.
First, we need to check our.
You want to leave? Facts. You leave. You go somewhere else. I think the only rules that really exist anymore, which is funny, is you got to be enrolled by a certain date to be in the school. Right. Like academics in school even matter anymore.
Right.
It's we start getting into this minutia, bro. It's pointless. It is absolutely pointless.
I don't get it, man.
It's like I forget who was talking about. One of the coaches was talking about this the other day. It's like, yeah, it's becoming a pro model, except for the fact you don't have any of the things that the pro model has, like a salary cap, revenue sharing. Well, I guess there is a little bit of revenue sharing conference within conferences, but you don't have roster limits in any real sense. You don't have the salary caps. You don't have contracts that keep players bound to teams in organized free agency. You don't have any of that the NFL has. It's just a free for all, and college football acts like, that's fine. We'll just keep going. Like where's the groundswell to fix it? Everybody complains about it. Everybody says we can't continue we can't sustain this. But where's the Blue Ribbon Commission? Where is who is putting up legislation to fix this stuff? Tommy Tuberville, Senator, where are you? Like, what are you doing?
Of all people should know about this.
Yeah, somebody do something. Like, this is ridiculous. It cannot continue, and you're ruining the game. I mean, seriously, you're killing the golden goose. You are ruining college football by just allowing this nonsense to continue. And I'm not pointing a finger at the Florida Gators. I mean, they're working the system. Go get you. And everybody, look, Florida State signed a couple of good linemen this week. They've signed a lot of really good players. I mean, their portal is going crazy, and it needs to. And what they did late in recruiting was fantastic. It's not near the level of what the Florida Gators are doing, though. And this Dallas Wilson thing is a big, big deal. This is one of those guys you will see on Saturday that's making a difference. And I can predict that. I didn't see him play live at Tampa Bay Tech, but I've seen his highlights. I know who he is, and everybody in this area knows who he is. You talk to coaches, and they're like, that dude is a monster. He's a monster. And he was people really thought he was going to Florida. Then Oregon got him because, Oregon is sexy. And you go up there and you see the facilities, and they throw that cash at you and all that Nike gear, man. It's sexy. But, when you want to play and then you come back home for Christmas or whatever, right? And, the Florida Gators are here in Tampa playing tomorrow when you're hanging out with DJ Lagway, 6'5", 240 pounds with a cannon for an arm. You're looking at this Florida Gators team. Damn, Damn. They're going to be good. Yeah, they're a national title contender. They're going from we're firing the coach. We're firing the coach midseason. Dead man walking. Yeah. All you Gator fans, you know who you are. You know who you are. Rod Newman, you know who you are. All you Gator fans. Chuck Melindy, I see you. You're all out. We got to fight. He's awful. It's awful. And now here we are. Here we are.
What would the appeal be for a kid other than, I mean, Oregon's obviously a Big Ten contender again. They just won the Big Ten. They're in the national championship,
right?
Talk in the playoff. Florida's not. Other than the fact that Oregon is 3,100 miles away from Tampa, from home, and Florida's right up the road. What is? This is what we've talked about this before. I have to know what the sales pitch is for Florida and Billy Napier and his staff to say, come here, not Oregon, especially in such a way that you can flip the kid in 2 weeks after he just signed. Like, I have to know.
Well,
this.
obviously, there's bags and bags and bags of money going on here. All right, and I'm not here to say that did Florida increase their offer dramatically, and it does beg the question. Like, okay, so we have a signing day. We announce all these classes, and now 2 weeks later, to your point, like we're getting out of these. Like, what is the point of any of the time and signing times? And and that is my point. It's a complete effing free for all. The recruiting never stops ever. It's constant, in season, out of season, after signing, before signing. I mean, I'm sure Dan Lanning is getting ready for the big the playoffs and getting that practice in and he's like, what Dallas, what are you doing? Where are you going? And now you got to try to get him back. Like, what are you going to up the offer again? I mean, it's madness. It's freaking madness. We got to
have a rule, right? If you commit, sign, whatever on December 4th for the upcoming season, you're there for the 2025 season. You are ineligible for the transfer portal. You are considered enrolled and ready to go. If you sign that commitment letter and you sign an NIL deal, you are there for this season. Now, you want to change? You're going to have to wait a year.
Yeah.
We've got to do, because now the Oregon guys have wasted all of their time.
Yeah. Yeah. And probably said no to a lot of good other wide receivers who went elsewhere because they thought they had him. And I'm not putting any aspersions on the young man at all. No. I have no idea what his situation is. I have no idea why he was swayed. He's a hell of a football player. You cannot blame these kids for any of this. You can't. I know people are like, oh, you got to have loyalty and it's all about the money now. You do the same damn thing. You do the same damn thing. So, and there are no guardrails. So if you change your mind and you can get out of this and go to another, so be it. Just be happy and go play football. I mean, at this point, I'm not blaming the players.
Yeah, and I'm not faulting the kid for this. Obviously,
that we're talking about the system. Mm-hmm. We're outraged at the system. So
he's allowed to do this under the system that's in place. I just think it's ridiculous. He's allowed to do it.
I guess. I just want the kid to be happy, and I want I know I'm a Noel, but I want the Florida Gators to be competitive, and I want the state of Florida to matter again. I want these kids to start staying home, and we got to have better programs to make them stay at home. That's on FSU. It's on Florida. It's on Miami. Be better. Yeah. Be better. Get better coaches. Get better, give more money, whatever it is. Be better. So these kids stay home and stop the Atlanta, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, everybody coming in here and pilfering guys.
Yeah.
All it goes for USF, put a damn fence around the 813 and the 727. Let's freaking go. And,
it's mind-numbing. But
congratulations to the Gators. They have a top 10 class now.
Amazing
game tomorrow. I think they're going to freaking roll Tulane, a good football team. But and that's a springboard to next year, right? They had all these practices. DJ Lagway, he's playing. I'm not sure, but I'm the Tulane quarterback transferred, so I'm guessing he's not playing. So Mensa he transferred to Duke or announced it. So I would guess that he's not playing in this game. You could double check me on that, but doesn't matter. Gators, this is a Gator show, and they're going to be, I think it's 3:30 tomorrow, ready to rock. And DJ Lagway and the Gators are on a roll. It's good stuff. All right. To this, excuse me, to the stadium.
Because Vince is playing at Duke, so he's already committed, so he's out.
Yeah. And I mean, again, and you play a whole season with your boys, and you're going to a nice bowl game in Tampa, and your quarterback just gone.
Can we not change the transfer portal date till after bowl games?
You should not. Again, if I'm the college football czar, I'm not letting players leave their teams before bowl season. No. You played with your team, especially with these NIL. I don't understand why these NIL deals don't compel the players to finish the season. You ain't getting paid until you play in the bowl game. Yeah. That shouldn't be a rule. That should just be part of your contract.
Right.
I mean, if I'm making up contracts and I can, evidently all these players are now asking for guarantees in terms of playing time and situational time within their NIL agreements, which I think is absolutely bananas.
So ridiculous.
But I guess teams feel like they have to do that in order to get the players. Players have all the leverage now. They got all the leverage. It's insane. But again, where's the Blue Ribbon Committee? Where have we scheduled it for the offseason? We're going to fix college football. Nope. I haven't heard of it. Have you? Nope.
Where are the adults?
Where are the adults?
Where are the adults?
Cash and checks. And now, and it's not like they've said, okay, we're paying the administrators and coaches all these ridiculous stuff. We're going to keep paying it. So we could cut that money in order to pay the players. No, they're just going to the fans now and charging them triple what they used to cost to go to games to now pay the players instead of reducing your costs and the ridiculous, $2 million strength coach salaries and $12 million head coach salaries. No, we're not going to do anything about that. We're just going to go to the fans and say, you need to pony up more to pay the players.
I have no idea how to fix any of that's the thing. Now we've let it go.
I got great ideas. Great ideas.
And will it work now that we've let all of this go on? And we say this long. It's been 3 years.
Listen, will it work? It has to work because this ain't working. This is not where you're killing college football. You're killing it. Fans the most ardent college football fans are like, I'm done. My team isn't playing. Players aren't playing, blah, blah, blah. They're all paid, but it's all about money. There's no loyalty. I'm done with college football. You see it all the time. And I don't blame them.
No.
I don't blame them. The adults in the room need to get the hold of this shiz.
Where are the adults?
Yeah. So, all right. So yesterday we had Chris Lotvola on from the county commission, and he reiterated a lot of what he said in the county commission meeting in his epic skewering of Stu Sternberg. And we've seen not only Chris Lotvola, but every member of the county commission, even the ones that are for it, absolutely roast the Rays for their ridiculous, insensitive behavior through this entire stadium debacle.
Yeah.
Which was obviously predictable if you followed Stu Sternberg the way we have and know exactly what his moves are. He broadcasts them every time he goes into a deal. He goes into a deal, agrees to all this stuff, and then at the last minute pulls out. That's what he does. Did it to Tampa, did it on multiple occasions in St. Pete. It's always one harebrained idea after the next. All of it centered around bilking the public out of hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. So to me, we knew it was coming. And we warned the city council and the county commission, you get in bed with a snake, you're going to get bit. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But what's interesting today, I think, is that even John Romano, who has been shilling for the Rays nonstop in this stadium deal, in my opinion. Fine man, good dude. Have a lot of my opinion of the way they've handled this, as you all know, not great. And I think now, judging from Twitter and everywhere else, fans know it now. They've seen it, the Rays behavior, the media that have put out all these false narratives for so long, and finally coming down to say, Rays, what are you doing? Stu Sternberg, what are you doing? 49 days delay in the bonds, which, by the way, was not a delay. March was the deadline to get the bonds done. So they did it well in advance just to get ahead of the thing. And maybe even to give them some room for reconsideration of how they were going to pay for it. And again, as another false narrative was, oh, the county wants to kill the deal. No. Chris Lotfella wants to kill the deal. No. They wanted to get their ducks in the row on how to pay for it and when to pay for it. They had beach renourishment that they could use the money for and other things that they needed post-hurricane. And they did not know if the Army Corps of Engineers was going to pay for it. That's still very much up in the air. So they had to be, after these hurricanes, very sensitive to their constituents' needs. I mean, hello, we're talking about $315 million. And then if they were going to bond it, the interest on that takes it up to $700 million over 30 years. These are kind of weighty issues. And they just asked for a little bit of a delay so they could figure it out. And of course, the Rays went nuts. Chris Lotfella, you're the problem. You're the reason the Rays are going to move out of town. And the Rays and the media are pointing fingers at him and telling and it's like, I'm like, no, this is not what's going on here. He's getting death threats about it. Come on. And it was all a false narrative.
Yeah. Completely
false. Because it was the Rays that were the problem. They were and they're bitching at the county commission for delaying things. They have a host of things that they're supposed to be doing, and they haven't got off their rat's ass and done any of it. We need you to do everything early. We'll do it when we get around to it. And if you don't do it, it's your fault. Well, what about your stuff? What about the millions of dollars you're supposed to be putting up? No, don't worry about us. It's your fault. I mean, the most hypocritical, ridiculous narratives I've ever seen in my life. And then we finally get down to it. They pass the bonds, and now they put it in the race court. And what do? Within minutes, they fire off another insensitive, ridiculous letter saying, nope, we're not going to pay our part. We need help funding this gap because you delayed 49 days, which again, that's not true. They didn't delay anything. They set it for bonding or approval earlier than the March deadline. So they could work through things if, hurricanes came through. Pretty smart stuff. You listen to the county commission, do their due diligence. Smart people asking great questions, protecting the taxpayers as they should, and still going forward with a partner who has called you a liar, called the commissioners liars, blame them for all that's happened here on a 49-day delay that has put the cost overruns into $250 million. Really? Let's see the receipts.
Just prove it.
Oh, well, we don't have any of that. Prove you spent $50 million that you said you spent. And that's why you had to stop everything and point the finger at Chris Lotfella. You have $50 million you spent. Oh, yeah. You got receipts? Oh, no. I spent about $11 million over here. This is not actual receipts, but it just says what we did on a piece of paper. Oh, okay. We'll believe you again. No, we won't. So now we get to the point now where even John Romano is like, come on, Rays, you're the problem. Stu Sternberg, well, not specifically. You're the problem. Do you even want a deal? No, they don't want a deal. They never wanted a deal. It was always just about the real estate. And you got hoodwinked. The city got hoodwinked. The county got hoodwinked. All of them. That's why when they signed the deal and now they were right, all the pom-poms, I was like, we'll see if it goes through. We'll see. When they see what the money is, let's see if it really happens. Let's see if the Rays put up $700 million plus cost overruns. No way in hell he was ever going to do that. Ever. And this deal is not going to get done because the city's not going to put up any more money, nor should they. And the county's not going to put up any more money, nor should they. So what happens? Well, we'll see. But I think new ownership is very much in the offing. Like Chris said yesterday, there is a groundswell for it. The Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred is aware of it. He's pissed at the Rays. He's pissed at the way the Rays have handled all of this stuff. His eyes are now very wide open that it's not the city of of St. Pete. It's not Hillsborough County. It's not the Pinellas County Commission. It's not the TSA. It's the one person and the one organization that has been the problem the whole time. And it's the Tampa Bay Rays and Stu Sternberg. And you remove that impediment, this deal gets done in a heartbeat. And I'm glad now that the commissions, local media, and everybody eyes are now wide open as to what the issue is. And you'll see that he ain't coming up with the money. Should 49 days delay it? Hell no. And that's just the convenient reason they're using. And they were always going to find something, always do something to get out of it, because that's the way they set up the deal, to separately fund these projects so they could keep the real estate deal without ever building a stadium. Talked about that a year ago when the No Home Run website popped up and they had all those guys that had done these deals before. And we've had them on the show and looked at the deal and said, wait a minute, this don't look right. This don't look right. This is not the way you do these deals. Something's up. And here we are.
Yep.
So as I said yesterday, I am looking forward. And I cannot wait. I was talking about it yesterday over at Palmacia with a lot of guys that have grown up playing baseball in this area, that played, in high school and little league with Tino Martinez and Fred McGriff and Dave Magadan, all these guys that have come through here. And everybody is so freaking stoked to go watch the Rays play baseball outside at Steinbrenner Field. It is going to be a vibe. And I can't wait. I'm going to be there.
I'm coming out for some games, man.
Drinking our $15 beers, 12 ounce, probably.
And enjoying every minute of it. I can't wait to come out for a Ranger series.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be, I think we play the Rangers in the first. That's one of the, no, I was thinking that was one of the series that was switched, but I may be wrong on that. Should be. Let's play indoors in Texas instead of outdoors in Tampa in the summer, but whatever. This is going to be unbelievable. And I hope, unfortunately, we have an owner that has handcuffed our brilliant general manager, and he can't go out and make deals to bring in hitters because hitters cost money. You see all these deals going down within the division and everywhere else. It would be great to have an owner that actually wanted to invest in his team, in this great pitching staff, and go out there and get some actual hitters to beef up this. Listen, you can tell me all you want that Josh Lowe's going to be better and all these Taylor Walls is going to finally learn how to hit and all. No, this is who they are. Could they be marginally better than last year? Sure. But why don't you just go out and get better players? Get better. We believe in our guys. I think Eric Neander would love to go out and make some moves. And if you trade a pitcher like Jeffrey Springs, you think he wants another pitcher back? No, we don't need more pitching. Why would you get a pitcher back when you have the second worst offense? Because hitters cost money.
Yeah.
And so that's a shame, because this team could be absolutely epic with this pitching staff they have. Just get to, average offense, just average, and you're going to win 90 games. And, who knows if you stay healthy in the pitching department finally for the postseason and have an offense that could actually hit in the postseason, magical things can happen. Can you imagine having a World Series game in that park?
God, how great would that be?
You want to talk about a tough ticket, bro? Oh, Lord.
They can't move it, right?
I don't see how they could, because
where would they go?
I guess the closest place would be Miami.
But you can't do that to the Tampa Bay fans, though.
No, and you want to play in your stadium.
Wow.
Your season ticket holders. I
hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
I think they're gonna have to bring in some extra bleachers. I gotta believe they're working on that. I've been trying to find out, but I can't get any answers because it's just the Yankees and the Rays that are dealing with it.
Yeah,
and TSA really doesn't have a part of that. But it's gonna be fun, and I cannot wait for that part of it. And as I've said before, all this stupid shit we've been talking about, and he said, she said, and all the acrimony, hopefully it goes away in the season, right. And we're just playing baseball, and hopefully, God, wouldn't it be nice for Christmas, get new ownership group in there, that's, based in Tampa and, working on a stadium deal in Tampa where everybody's pulling in the right direction, in the same direction. And there's not all this constant shit out there about the ownership and where they're going to play. God, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? I think we're getting closer. And it's the most obvious and the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Breaking news before we take a break here, JP, the first break of the show. The Rangers do not make a trip to Steinbrenner Field this year.
They don't.
No, but the Rays will be in Arlington on my birthday weekend.
Wow.
So the Rays visit the Rangers April 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My birthday is that following Monday on the 7th. So I may be making a trip out Sunday for a day game at the Globe for some Rays Rangers.
Well, we'll have to get a little Jumbotron love for your birthday. Happy birthday, Big Timmy Ham. Yeah, baby.
Number 54. If I survive, I don't know. I haven't made it to 54 yet. So
it's a long way. It's a long way to go. Good morning to you, Michael LaRue. Stu doesn't have the $700 million in cash or money for cost overruns. He has to sell the team or at least part of it. Now, remember, he doesn't have to come up with $700 million cash. He can finance it just like everybody else. So, and he has all the upfront money, so he doesn't really need to come up with a big chunk of money right now.
It's just a signature.
Yeah, just a signature. He's getting a $100 million loan, quote, loan from Major League Baseball for the new park.
Yep.
So he can use that right away as his portion. Doesn't have to come out of pocket for any of that. Then he can, finance the rest of it to the tune of, probably, first of all, he's going to get naming rights. He gets all the revenue from the naming rights, which should be worth over the life of that stadium, I would think at least $500 million, which covers all of its costs. So again, it's not even costing him any money. And he still doesn't want to do the deal. It's insane. It's crazy. But here we are. Drew Jetson says, what do the fans get? Low A ball players, no superstars to cheer for, send $150 million in payroll per year. Wouldn't that be nice? $150 million payroll. Oh my God. And Thomas Casper reminds us that not even Namoli was this cheap. Hit show. That's right. He went out and got Vinny Cash Steela. That is the greatest nickname of all time for a free agent bust. Vinny Cash Steela. That was awesome. All right. Quick break. When we come back, 2.5 minute break, we're going to talk some Buccaneers. Give you an update on who's playing against the Cowgirls this weekend. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that misogynistic? Apologize.
I mean, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. We'll get into that. We got lots of NFL stuff to get to. More portal happenings as these big-time quarterbacks change the balance of power. And we're also going to talk to Sandra Golden from 92.9 The Game in Atlanta, the Falcon Station, and find out all the drama that's going on with our Tampa young man, Michael Penix Jr. from Tampa Bay Tech and the Falcons. So stay with us. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. We're coming to you from the Jeeves Law Group studio right here in beautiful South Tampa. If you're involved in an accident or have any legal issues at all, call the Jeeves Law Group. You get a free case evaluation, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Mr. Jeeves is in the office this morning, and he told him all about his new Gator wide receiver. Very happy. Back in 3. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to a Thursday edition of the JP Peterson Show here on FanStream Sports, brought to you by the absolute best customer service people in the business at Italiano Insurance. Call my friend Charity Huerta over there. She is amazing. We'll help you out with your car insurance, your business insurance, which you need. If you don't have business insurance, folks, and you started a side hustle, you got to have it. Or if you started a new business, must do. Flood insurance, we all know if you don't have that, it can get ugly. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. They do all the work. You save all the money. Do the insurance checkup. It's worth it. All right. How about them Cowboys? Here come the Buccaneers, and they are an absolute wagon right now. But I have to.
They're the talk of the town right now on all the national shows on NFL Network that I watch.
I was just going to mention that. They're getting a lot of love everywhere you go, for good reason, and I think they've been a little bit under the radar, which I like. I kind of want to say, like, shh, we don't need all this. We don't need a ruckus. Yeah, because that, what happens. So I'm going to try to get over there today to listen to Liam Cohen talk today. He will be doing his press conference at 1:00 today. Liam Cohen is like now.
If you roll film on that, if you're going to record that, will you send it to me?
What's that?
The Liam Cohen. If you roll any tape on Liam Cohen or something, will you just send it?
I will do
that.
Okay, I'll do it. Get the phone ready, and we'll do that.
There you go.
I'll probably post some stuff today, but I mean, Liam Cohen is like the hottest name, and I know that's going to be a couple of the questions, and I'll be interested to see how he handles it. And I pretty much. You figure it's going to be, listen, it's all great. Love it. But we are zeroed in on the Cowboys. We're trying to get better here each and every week. We're trying to evolve as an offense and stay ahead of the curve and make adjustments and self-scout and do all the things we need to do. We are locked in to this year. I'm not thinking about the future because, the media, how we like to stir the pot. Listen, we had this discussion on Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, the Bucs blow out the Chargers. They score 40 points on the number one defense. And what's everybody got to say? When is Liam Cohen becoming the new head coach of the Buccaneers?
Ouch.
We were having this discussion the other day amongst the friends. And it's like, well, we're not letting Liam Cohen go. I'm like, no, he is not getting out of the building. Well, what if we Bowles wins the division again? I'm like, I don't know. No, I don't think anybody's going to go up there today and go, hey, Liam, Is it awkward that everybody's talking about you being the next head coach and you still have one that you're working for? By the way, Bucs PR, I will not be the person to ask that question.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. But it's like the elephant in the room, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you? I mean, I think it's fair to say, Liam. I'm sure you've heard all the talk about you being a hot candidate for the next head coaching job. What do you think? Right? That's a fair question. I think that's a fair question.
Yeah.
And you give him the opportunity to say just what I just said. And I don't say that he's being disingenuous in any way if that's his answer. Look, he's got an agent. His agent's fielding calls. That's how they handle that. That's why you have an agent, because you don't need to be worried about this stuff. You need to be doing the best that you can for your team. And that's what he's doing. And that's what I love about this Bucs culture. It's so selfless. He's not coming in there beating his chest and like, yeah, you know what, I'm looking forward to my future as a head coach somewhere. No, he's not. That's not what the culture is about. It's not what he's about. But it's a reality of the situation.
Yeah.
And as I said, this will all work itself out. Just let the season play out, see where it goes. After this this 4-game win streak, you feel like you're never going to lose, right? If you're a Buccaneer fan, right? Like, we got the number 1 scoring defense. We got the 3rd best scoring offense. Who's beating us, right? And you should stick your chest out. You should also look at the schedule and remember who you played and how you played them.
Right.
But this, that's as good as I've seen a Bucs team play in forever on the West Coast, especially. But that's one game. It's one game. And you can come in, as you said, Mike Zimmer, the Dallas defensive coordinator, this was expected. You're going to start slow. They're going to figure it out. Parsons is healthy now. They're getting healthier, right?
They just shut DeMarcus Lawrence down for the season, but that was expected. We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about it the other day, Tim, but the floor is yours on this Dallas defense. I don't, as much as we'd like to say you're going to come in here and, hang 40 on them, it could be a little different, right?
Yeah, the defense just took a hit, of course, with Trayvon Diggs being sidelined for the rest of the season. It's 3 games. He had the ACL tear last year, and apparently the Cowboys did not, I guess, like the way he handled his rehab. Maybe he didn't attack it like they thought he would, and now he's having trouble with that repaired knee, and the Cowboys think it's due to his lack of a good rehab. So they shut him. He's having surgery on it again.
Damn.
So they're shutting him down. That means a lot of his next season's in doubt too. And locally, everyone's calling for the head of Trayvon Diggs. Trade him now. Like, everyone's done with Trayvon Diggs here in Dallas.
Wow.
And I don't care. Like, I don't think he's lived up to the LSU hype that he had coming out of there. And or was it Alabama? Crap, I can't remember where he played football now, college ball. But I don't care one way or the other about him, but it's a hit on the defense. All right. Deron Bland, our number 2 corner, isn't completely healthy. He missed the first 10 games of the 9 games of the season with a broken bone in his foot. He's not 100%. DeMarvion Overshone is gone with a knee injury. He may miss all of next year. Linebacker. We're taking some hits here recently on defense. The defensive line, of course, there's Micah Parsons, and I told you the best advice I would give to Liam Cohen for a plan of attack. Wherever Micah Parsons lines up on the defensive line, run the other way. Maybe
that'll be a check at the line with Baker, and he's been doing a great job of that, by the way.
He has. He's mastered that Liam Cohen offense magically, and it shows, right, with his stats and with the points they've been putting up recently. But this defense, Mike Zimmer's getting them to, I think, overachieve with what they have. And when you overachieve like that, that's not sustainable. You can't sustain that.
You're gonna get got.
Right. Yeah. And I think Mike Zimmer's kind of coaching for a job. I don't mean here in Dallas. I think he wants to coach somewhere next year on the defensive side. I don't think he wants to head coach again. I think he wants to be a DC somewhere. And I think he's trying to put together somewhere else. Yeah, because he won't. Unless Mike McCarthy's back next year, Mike Zimmer won't be here. The entire staff is all on 1-year contracts here this year. So And by the way,
who's the next Cowboys coach?
There's talk that Matt now maybe McCarthy's gonna be back on like another 1-year deal, which is you can't do that to a coach. That's ridiculous. But anyway, the defense is all Mike Zimmer right now. It is all scheme.
So they're beat
everybody's hurt.
So they're beat up, and now here comes the Buccaneers clicking on all cylinders. I got to believe that this is going to be a 30-point game for the Buccaneers. Is what they've been averaging.
If the Bucs will continue to run their offense like they have been, getting the ball out of Baker's hands quickly, and not giving the Cowboys defensive line, which is their strength right now, not giving the Cowboys defensive line time to pass rush, this could be a huge offensive game for the Bucs. I think the over under. We did our picks last night on the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Tim show. Our picks against the spread. I think the over under was 49.5 on this one. I took the over.
Yeah,
and I took that mostly because I'm thinking the Bucs might put up 35-40 on the Cowboys. And what's interesting, you were talking about Liam Cohen a minute ago. Here in Dallas on the flagship station of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan, we had on Mike Tirico at 8:30 this morning, who will have the call on Sunday Night Football for the game. Mm-hmm. And he was talking specifically about Liam Cohen and, what he's done with the offense, what he's done for Baker. Of course, last season, Dave Canales got a career year out of Baker. And now Liam Cohen's doing the same thing because Baker's surpassing all of his career best numbers from last year. Yeah. 32 touchdowns this year.
Maybe it's Baker.
But interestingly, and it's the first time I've heard a national guy say this about Cohen, because the hosts asked him what's the head coaching prospect for Liam Cohen going into next year. And Tirico actually said same thing I would say. I would give him another year as an OC. He said he'll probably get some looks. He probably won't get serious looks this offseason because it's his first year as the OC. Let him do it again next year. And then if he duplicates next year with what he did this year with the offense, he might be the number one candidate on the market next offseason.
Well,
I think. I don't think I get why they do.
I hate to disagree with Mike Tirico and the great IndyCar Tim, but I'll just say Exhibit A, Dave Canales.
Right.
Now, that was a Panthers organization that, by the way, it looks like a pretty good hire right now because he's got that team playing and Bryce Young developing in the second half of the season. So, let's let it play out. But they had a little bit of a good run there. Now they got spanked. Was it last week they got spanked
by the Cowboys? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's, we'll evaluate at the end of the year. But these owners have no patience. Yeah. They have no patience, and they're all looking for the same thing. The McVay clone, young, offensive-minded from that tree. Right. And the Ben Johnsons, everybody's looking for that. And that's Liam Cohen. That's who he is. So I think he may need another year seasoning. I would agree with that. And Liam Cohen might think that as well. And he might say to himself, I'm not ready. I'm just, this is my first year really calling plays. You're going to saddle me with being a head coach as well. That's a lot. That's a lot to put on me. And if I'm the head coach, you're going to want me calling the plays, right? That's why you hired me. Right. So, in terms of his head coaching arc, listen, I always say you need to strike while the iron's hot because you never know what it's going to look like next year. Yeah. He could come back and Baker Mayfield get hurt, and he's working with Kyle Trask and everything goes in the crapper. And then, the shine is off the bottle a little bit. So listen, if I'm Liam Cohen and somebody's throwing that money at me, sometimes you just got to go and figure it out as you go. But I think he'll be a hot commodity. How many openings will there be? We probably 5 to 7 openings. Liam Cohen's not going to get one of those jobs. I think he will. I think he definitely will. And
when I say what I said, give him another year, I'm saying that's how it should go.
Yeah,
but I understand why owners, because you want to jump on it while it's hot, right? And beat somebody else to the punch. And if somebody wants to take a look at Liam Cohen and thinks that he'll be good at some point, well, you want to go grab him before the Raiders grab him, before the Bears grab him, before the Jets grab him, before the Giants grab him. before the Patriots grab him. All these teams are probably going to be looking for head coaches.
That's right. That's right. So
go get him. I get it. I don't agree with it though.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we talked a lot about this the other day. Let's let it play out. Let's let it play out. I just don't see how the Glazers are going to allow him to get out of the building, given the situation that they're in.
Right.
I just don't see it. So whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah, and so it's a huge game. I mean, if the Bucs go in, every one of them, obviously down the stretch, a huge game. The Bucs go in and do what they're supposed to do, and take care of business and stay on this roll. I think the Falcons they're going to have issues with playing at Washington. They got the Giants this week, soft landing for Michael Penix, and then they got to go to Washington. Sandra Golden will join us here in a few minutes and give us all the update on all the drama. If anybody knows drama in Atlanta, it's Sandra Golden. She will set us straight on that. So that's their deal. The Bucs just got to keep doing what they're doing. And defensively is what scares me a little bit. And the Cowboys with Cooper Rush have you tell me how explosive have they been? How good have they been? I mean, obviously CeeDee Lamb and Dowdle are good players. There's some weapons here.
Right.
And the Bucs defense still scares me a little bit. Even as good as they've been, they just haven't played great competition. So what are your thoughts?
So explosive is not a word I would use to describe the Cowboys offense under Cooper Rush at any point of Cooper Rush's career here in Dallas. He is not very accurate. He has his moments, and that's why he's been here for so long as the backup. But explosive is not a word. He's a dunk and doink underneath guy. He doesn't throw the ball past 20 yards. He very rarely throws the ball past 15 yards. So it's a bunch of get the ball out of his hand quickly because he's not mobile. He doesn't always make the best decisions. I feel like I'm describing Baker Mayfield a little bit.
Actually, come on now.
Baker
throws the ball downfield. Now.
Oh, he does. He does.
About.
Yeah, except for that. But and Cooper Rush will miss a guy wide open on the flat by 10 yards, and then the next pass he'll throw a frozen rope across the middle in between two defenders that looks gorgeous. That's why he's a backup, and that's what it is. The offense behind him, now that Rico Dowdle and the offensive line have figured out the running game, the Cowboys have posted 3 straight 100-yard games by Rico Dowdle. The Cowboys had none this season prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
This extremely injured makeshift offensive line is kind of figuring things out a little bit. Not so much in pass protection, but in run protection, they're really good. So look for a heavy dose of Rico Dowdle. Little bit of dose of Zeke Elliott. Deuce Vaughn will probably be inactive again. The 5'4" Kansas State running back that we have on our roster that nobody uses. We only drafted him because his dad's a scout on the team. It was a nice story at the beginning of last season, but it is what it is. And
I'm surprised he hasn't been more productive.
Who?
Do they just not use him, or they just have no confidence in him?
Who's that?
Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn, they just don't use him very much. He's little, man. He's like 5'8".
I know,
but he's a little speedster.
Irving ain't that big either.
No, I get it. Like
Sproles wasn't big.
I like what I see from Deuce Vaughn because he's fast and he's quick and he can hide behind the offensive line, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they've used him, he's done what they wanted him to. He's never active. I think he's been active maybe 3 games this season, and it was very early when the running game was horrible, so he looked horrible like everybody else. But yeah, I don't know why they don't use him more, especially now when you've got nothing else to lose and you're trying to evaluate talent. Like, why are you not throwing Deuce Vaughn out there, throwing some passes in the flat to him and let him run on a little bubble screen or something, or line him up out wide and throw a little wide receiver screen to him, give him some blocking up front and see what he can do. Hell, let him return kicks. I mean, I know we got Kevontae Turpin, but he's being used more now in the passing game. So in the preseason, Vaughn was the return guy, and he wasn't bad. So I don't know. That's a really good question. There's a lot of head scratching problems on this offense that I wish I could explain, but nobody can.
But so in your professional opinion, this should be a rout for the Buccaneers.
Knowing the Buccaneers team just like I do the Cowboys team, I don't know that I would call it a rout. I would say look for it to be close at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
But then an explosive second half by the Bucs.
Okay,
that's what I would say, and then maybe
I'll sign up for that.
Maybe a 2-touchdown win. 35-21, something like that. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, I'll sign up for that. It looks like the Bucs are getting a little healthier, and they're not going to get any. Antoine Winfield's not coming back this week. They're not getting anybody major back, but they didn't lose anybody this week, which is good. So they're going to go in, pretty healthy in the secondary, as healthy as they've been. Mm-hmm. And Kevon Merriweather played really well last week in filling in. So as long as those two corners, Zion McCollum and Jamel Dean, are healthy, and they are, I think we're going to see a lot more man from Todd Bowles and a lot more aggressive ascending, because they can't. Todd's learned that they cannot get any pressure with four. Can't do it. They just don't have any edge rushers that can beat anybody consistently one-on-one. Cansey's been great. He can beat people inside, but since the outside guys don't demand double teams, he's getting double teamed in the middle, he and Vea. So it's a little bit tough for him. So I think Bowles has resigned himself to six-man pressures most of the way, and to see what the back end can do in man. And I like that. I think that's what they play their best defense. They might give up some cheapies, but when they play the zone, they give up cheapies as well. So you might as well at least get some pressure on the quarterback and try to force a quick throw and get some turnovers, which they've gotten in the last couple of weeks. So I hope he stays with that for me.
By the way, real quick before the break here, I know we got her coming on. There's this magazine here in the state of Texas. It's called Texas Monthly. It's a very legendary, very popular magazine. Every year they do what they call the bum steer of the year. All right. Right. And it's basically someone in Texas, a politician, a businessman, whoever, who they think has the least amount of representation for the state of Texas, right? Who they're embarrassed the most by. This morning it was announced Jerry Jones is Texas Monthly's bum steer of the year.
Wow.
Which is a big deal, because
has he ever been?
They're pretty kind to the Cowboys typically. But after this season, they're like, you know what? Screw it.
Wow.
So that should tell you something about how things are going for the Cowboys here in the state of Texas.
The media turns on the Rays and Stu Sternberg and
Jerry Jones in
the same day. Wow.
And they were not kind to him in the article either. I don't have it in front of me to give any quotes. Not that anybody there cares, but they were not kind, man.
Turning in the media. Interesting. Yeah. There's a lot of changes going on that way since November 4th.
In the Rangers, this will always be a football first town with the Cowboys, obviously. The Rangers and Mavericks kind of vie for second place a little bit. Whoever's better right now, it's the Mavs. But that 2023 World Series has not been lost on Rangers fans, and they are maintaining the Rangers at a number 2 in the marketplace, even after their bad year last year. They're going to have a really hot lineup coming up. But the Cowboys, their reign on Dallas and Texas sports is fading a little bit now after 27 years of no Super Bowl. So,
really, really. Well, it should be. You gotta do something eventually, right? Win something. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Sandra Golden will join us from 92.9 The Game in Atlanta. She's got her finger on the pulse of all the drama going on with Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins. Is this going to be an easy and seamless shift to the rookie? I don't know about that. We'll get all the scoop when we come back. We are brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source, folks. It's the holiday, 6 days to Christmas. If you haven't gotten your shopping done, what are you doing? And here's an easy way to do it. Just drive on over to the Gold and Diamond Source, 20 minutes from downtown Tampa, right in the middle of the Pinellas County right there. You get to park right next to the store, right? They have their own big parking lot. You go right in. There's a great staff there awaiting you. Say, here's my budget. And they'll say, here's something great you could get. This is hot. People are loving this. And it's easy. And they wrap it up for you. You don't have to wrap it. It's perfect. It's easy. Guys, going over to the Golden Diamond Source. Tell them JP sent you. And get something for yourself in their new men's department. They've got the baller watches. They've got all kinds of great stuff. So check that out as well. It's the Golden Diamond Source, one of the great local companies here. Keep it local for the holidays. I know you got to do all your Amazon, but keep some of it local here. And that's at the Golden Diamond Source. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Gettys Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Gettys Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the show, brought to you by Third Generation Plumbing and Heating. That's in the business. If you have any issues whatsoever, give them a call over there. Just go to the website, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. You read all their 5-star Google reviews. They have great text that will come in on time, very professional, get the work done at an honest price. That's all you want, right? Just an honest deal from a tech. And if it's not right, John Rodriguez, the owner, will fix it. Call me, call him. We'll get it done. But the work will be right. It'll be on time and for a great price. That thirdgenerationplumbing.com is the website. Contact them through there. All right. Let's find out what's going on in Atlanta. And so
we'll have Sandra on pretty soon. I'm trying to reach her right now.
Oh, okay. Let me put her on. I'll do comments. Good to go. All right. I sent you her information, right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, cool. Here we go. James says Dallas can win games with Cooper Rush. He doesn't make mistakes, doesn't seem to throw into coverage like Dak does. Geez, maybe trade Dak and rebuild your team. Ooh, that's interesting. What would you get for Dak? What would you get for Dak with that hefty price tag? I don't know. If you're desperate for a quarterback, and I don't think there'd be a fan base that would be, necessarily doing cartwheels if you had to give up, 2 first-round picks to get him. I don't know. Danny Mercado says Mike Edwards has a chance to come back this week. I did see that. That would be great because Mike, evidently, when Todd Bowles talked about him, when he finally got on the field, he was a big key to keeping everybody calm and getting everybody in the right place, being able to do some different things with Antoine Winfield and Tyke Smith. Obviously, Antoine is now hurt. By the way, I don't know if we ever talked about this. You see how Antoine got hurt? Friendly fire.
Yes, friendly fire.
Zion was going down to hit a tight end, went low, and Antoine was coming from the back, and Zion put his helmet right on the knee. Ooh.
That's happening a lot this year, too, by the way, with guys.
Yeah.
Who was it in Kansas City, the receiver?
Yeah, that one. And Antoine played like 2 more plays, too.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to shake it off, and it's like, I'm like, because I went back and looked at the tape, and I'm like, where did he get hurt here? And then he had to go back another play, and like, yeah, that was not good.
Sandra's here whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. All right, Sandra Golder from 92.9 The Game joining us here. What's up, Sandra? How are you?
Good morning. Happy holidays.
Yes. Lots of things happening up in Atlanta. Yeah.
We got an early Christmas gift, I do believe, and that Michael Penix will be starting on Sunday.
So no love for Cousins this season.
I have never embraced and loved the player more. I mean, he is the real deal in terms of being the greatest human on earth.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys, it didn't just take a little trend down. He fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen anything like this, from being named NFC Offensive Player of the Week against the Bucs, by the way.
Right.
You know the number to what he has become. And I'm just convinced he's hurt.
Yeah, it seems like it. He's lost his confidence. He's lost his fastball. That's very evident.
Yeah.
And teams pick up on that.
Yeah.
Once they see you can't push the ball downfield, everything gets condensed. So what has the fan situation been like for a few weeks now? I've heard that they've been like, let's move on to Michael Penix. Did it take too long for Raheem to make the move?
Yeah. You guys at Sports Talk Radio, it was a dream come true, because fans, at least they care though, and JP, you've been here when the fans were indifferent and they check out.
Yep.
But I mean, we get it. Raheem said, we're going to let him play his way back. But at some point, we thought if he was going to get a start, it might have been perfect on the road at the Raiders, or, halfway through the game when I literally walked out of the Chargers game after the third interception. My husband and I were there, and I go, I'm out. Like, this is insane. And then, the question becomes, what do you have to do to get bent? Because he's done everything. And especially, backwards to April, when they take at the 8th spot overall Michael Penix. We are so desperately in need of a pass rusher. Mm-hmm. And so then we're like, okay, well, now the Falcons look brilliant, don't they? I mean, if Penix comes out, he's got a cannon for an arm. The rave reviews come out of the building, so we'll see. They also could very well lose to the Giants. I will not be surprised.
Wow. That would be a fall off a cliff.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Michael from Tampa, he starred here at Tampa Bay Tech, and of course, none of the Florida teams thought he was any good, so he had to go somewhere else to start. Not like Florida State needed a quarterback or anything. Missed out on him and Rocco, but I digress. Unbelievable. So, and I followed his career in Indiana and then on to Washington, and he is, to me, the best deep ball thrower I think I've seen come out of college, maybe since Joe Burrow. He's fantastic. I love the way he plays the game. There were injury concerns, obviously, to his knees, but from what I've heard from all you guys up there, he has been lighting it up in practice, and they absolutely love him. So, do you think he steps right in? I mean, rookie, this is playoff do or die situation basically for the Falcons.
Yeah.
The pressure.
It's a ton of pressure, but what I'm hearing is it's not only like what he's doing out the practice field, but you guys, he's apparently a savant. And even at the draft board during the combine, he went to town on the whiteboard, and his knowledge of offense and, just so smart. So having said that, when he's sitting next to Kirk Cousins now for how many weeks, and in that quarterback room, from what we hear, I mean, Penix is like, well, why don't we try this? And why don't we do that? And then he's been running, the comment yesterday from AJ Terrell and Mike Hughes, the super studs defensive back, when they start talking about, oh, he's bringing out the best in us when we're having to play against him. Now, I know the narrative, they're supposed to say that. There's going to be nothing like running out of the tunnel against the Giants, which I believe are second overall in sacks. They have 44 sacks this year. So, okay, let's get him nervous, see what he's about. And the playoffs started last week for the Falcons on Monday night, and that horrendous show. Are you serious?
That was awful. That was
oh, my goodness.
when Dan Orlovsky's like begging the offense coordinator to call a pass, give Kirk Cousins some confidence, please. I mean, you're going to win the game. Just let him. And they're like, nope.
That was a tough one to watch. I'm not going to lie.
I'm with you. All right, now I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do the Bucs have it in them to win 7 straight?
Yeah.
I mean, we're hate watching the Bucs. Sorry, y'all, but
that's what it comes down to. I mean, we're our travels when it comes to this part of it. Look, I said last week before they went out to play the Chargers and the number 1 defense and Jim Harbaugh and the physical Chargers, like they're not going to win this game. It's going to be a low scoring game. They're going to come back to earth. They played 3 softies and now should have lost to the Panthers. The offense looks great, but let's see how they play against the number 1 defense, and wham, they drop a 40 burger on Harbaugh, whoop that ass.
Right?
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's a week, but as you know, Sandra, it's a week-to-week league. And right now we were just talking about this. If you're a Bucs fan, you're like, who's beating us? We have the number 1 scoring defense the last 4 weeks. Now we did play, Danny DeVito, Aiden O'Connell, and whoever the hell else we played. But doesn't
it doesn't matter though,
right? No, nobody asks. It's just how many points, right? And they're held in teams of 15 points. They're scoring 40 points a game. Who's going to beat them? The Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, you just never know week to week. So do they have it in them? Yeah. They should win every one of these games. But it's the NFL. Some weeks you don't play well. The breaks don't go your way, and you drop one. But right now, I'll tell you this. This team is talented offensively. They have a superstar offensive coordinator in Liam Cohen. Baker is he is absolutely the engine on this team. They love him. They follow him. Great. The chemistry from, we joked about it, Camp Kumbaya. It's just everything has gone right in the offseason. Everything, and then they go through a tailspin in the middle of the season, and then, boom, they're right back at it late like they did last year. So who the hell knows? Yeah. But right now, I've never seen a more confident team, a more together team. They're dealing with injuries, but I mean, at this point, I'm like, why not the Bucs? They're playing as good as anybody in the league right now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, and that's why I guess the throwaway phrase was Falcons can also lose to the Giants on Sunday. It's the NFL. You just never. That's why we would be rich in Vegas if we had it all. We're excited. The fan base, the tickets. I went on StubHub this morning. And the Giants game now, the stock is going up for the Falcon fans. It's the holidays. Let's go watch Michael Penix. Jerseys everywhere yesterday, folks on Twitter. So I don't know. I think it just re-energizes the building because, what was happening in the side eye. I don't know if y'all saw the broadcast when they showed Drake London on the bench. Yeah. I mean, the body language in a win, I've never seen it so bad because, you know what's happening. They showed you who they are.
Right. Yeah, so Penix instantly energizes this team. Still, it's a tough ask for a rookie to come in and rip off 3 straight. But do I think it's impossible that the Falcons, the game at Washington is going to be the one, right? That's going to be the one. Yeah. And then
on Sunday night, it's Sunday night outside, right? Like this. Okay, right. Welcome to the NFL.
Yeah. You birds don't like them outside games. You like that nice cozy dome you got there. You got to go out and play in 20-degree weather.
Fancy. We like the fancy bar on the field at the bend. That's what we like.
Nice. Well, that's what you like, yeah, for sure. No, so but can Penix re-energize this team and win 3 in a row, and then the Bucs lose one down the stretch? Absolutely. I mean, it's. What is it? A 40% chance? I don't know, but that could easily happen. Yeah. So it's up to the Bucs. I mean, it's in their hands. These are 3 games they should win, but we will see. We will.
Sandra, there was this last offseason during the draft. Obviously, the Falcons had already signed Kirk Cousins to that deal. Then they go out and get Penix, and there was a lot of question marks over people's heads. I think more so with the signing of Cousins than the drafting of Penix. But was this always the plan going into this year, was to ride Cousins to hopefully a playoff appearance, a division win, and then however far they can get in the playoffs and let Penix just sit, watch, and learn? Or was plan B always to go to Penix this season if Kirk Cousins faltered and fell off a cliff like he has? Certainly Nathan Peterman was never in the discussion for that, right?
Right. And I think both things can be true. And I'm going to back up to Kirk Cousins was the number 1 free agent, if you guys will remember, out there. Okay. So when the Falcons signed him and overpaid him, there wasn't a gun to their head. Like we've got to go get us a quarterback because we've just watched what we're going to do. And they were so in love with Penix. And the plan was going to be, he's going to sit back there and watch and make it happen. But what I also think happened inside the building is that when they saw Kirk and the Achilles, he's 36 years old. He's got 164 games on his resume, his NFL odometer, if you will. I think they were like, ruh-roh. I just think if they were being real with themselves and looked in the mirror, that is exactly what happened. Because, by the way, we were all in love with, and you guys know, Jared Verse was sitting there, Braden Fisk was sitting there, and Dallas Turner was sitting there. And the Falcons don't have a pass rush. It's not happening. Right. The fact that they have 20 over the last 3 games is remarkable. So I think both teams think can be true, but the very long answer to that question.
Well, Sandra, but the thing is, like, you still could have got Penix. You could have gone out in the free agency and got a Danielle Hunter, spent that money that you spent on Cousins on 2 veteran pass rushers. Yeah.
They got Judon, and they thought Matthew Judon was going to be a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting a steal.
Yeah.
Well,
it's got to be a disappointment. Yeah.
He is. And, that again, they tried to do the right thing, but it's always the narrative inside that building. Oh, we missed again. You know that not one single one of our draft picks, not one of 2024 started or played until recently. And I'm talking about everybody was hurt or they didn't make it. I mean, that for that to be your resume as a GM, that hurt.
Yeah, the Fontenot has screwed this up. There's no question about it. And I always question, like, right from the very beginning, because I know Raheem a little bit. It's just, when he was here, we were close, but I haven't, it's been quite some time. But I was like, Kirk Cousins? Like, really?
Yeah.
With all the other people that, Justin Fields was out there. There were, were other options.
Russell Wilson
was out. Guys you could get for nothing, like nothing. Yeah. And you have $90 million in cap. You got the 8th overall pick. And this is what you ended up with. You're stuck with this contract. You got a rookie quarterback and you still don't have a pass rush. I mean, but
listen, if he knew that, now look at us when we were 6-3. Hold on a minute. You're at that point 6-3, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. You just beat the Bucs for the 2nd time, and you are sitting right now. If the playoffs started, you are winning the division, and you are the 2 seed. How do I know that? Because we were all talking the playoffs, and then to fall off a cliff like this, it's unbelievably extraordinary in a terrible way.
Yeah, just imagine if you were a Falcons fan and an FSU fan.
Ouch.
Oh, wait. Hi, Mirror. Hi. Hi. Oh, hi, Sandra. Hi.
I'm such an asshole. I
love you for it. I can't wait to pull for the Cowboys Sunday night. So there you go.
Wow. I love you. What else is going on in Atlanta? Anything else going on in Atlanta? Fun? Seen any good country music concerts lately?
We're oh gosh,
go Dogs.
Not great. It's all about the red and the black right now, and can Gators Stockton go out there and shock the world? I'm so excited for this coming weekend. It's really great. So
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, Georgia's in the play. My college football brain shut off after FSU lost their 30th game of the year.
Truth?
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
But JP, we're making a comeback.
Go write a check for $1 million, JP. You're rich down there in Tampa. Give Mike Norvell a little money to play with.
Nice. All right, Sandra, you're awesome. Appreciate you. How can they follow you on the X Machine and get your podcast and live show, all that in Atlanta?
At Sports Sandra, and I do a lot of nonsense too. But everybody, Merry Christmas. Be grateful. We are so lucky in our lives, and God has really blessed us all. So have a great holiday and be thankful.
So well said. Love you, Sandra.
Love you guys. Thank you.
She's the best. We go way, way back. She interned for me in Tallahassee, moons ago.
Who didn't intern for you in Tallahassee? It seems like Mike Tirico interned for you.
I have quite the farm team, and they've all surpassed me in my career. So but that's okay. Did
Howard Cosell intern for you in Tallahassee? Because
I absolutely did.
She brought up their draft class, the Falcons draft class, and how nobody's played. I had high hopes for, they went defense 2, 3, 4 in the 5th round, like all the way. Mm-hmm. That kid out of Clemson, Ororoho or whatever his name is, I had high hopes for him.
Ororo, yeah.
And then the edge out of Washington, Braylon Trice, I had high hopes for him, but I don't know if it's a develop because that's Clemson and Washington, man. Those are
there you go.
programs.
Sometimes it's not just the player. It's the organization. How are they developing? I mean, look at the last 2 draft class for the Buccaneers. We've talked all about this. Every one of these guys, with exception of Camarda now, who forgot how to punt. Weird. Is
maybe his wife's having a baby.
I mean, it's unbelievable how much they've gotten out of these last 2 draft classes. And we talked when Jason Light came on the show. We talked about that. It's like, we had no choice. We had no money. We had to draft players. And sometimes when you have to draft them and you have to play them, they develop faster. That's weird. But they still got to be the right guys.
Right.
And they have nailed it. They have nailed the draft. Because listen, if they weren't the right guys, you wouldn't be going to the playoffs every year. So it's not like they're playing on a bad team. They're playing and they're being productive, which means they're good NFL picks. And many of them are getting second contracts as they go through. So, Jason Light and his staff has crushed it in the draft. And where would this team be without the last 2 draft classes? I mean,
they'd
unbelievable.
They'd be really old.
This draft class as well. Jalen McMillan scored 2 touchdowns. Bucky Urban's running for 150 yards. Graham Barton's paving the way. Tyke Smith is getting picks. I mean, yikes. The rookies are leading the way.
And that's how it
happened since the beginning of the season, if you really think about it.
Tyke Smith took a little bit to come on, I think.
He got injured. Yeah, but
he was hurt. I'd like to see more from Chris Braswell still, but
that's not happening.
No, I know.
I don't want to write him off, but there's just
but it's like Terry Fontenot in Atlanta, and they went purposely after Penix. They went defense heavy because they needed defense, and it's like he just looked at the colleges that these guys were from. They didn't go any small time schools. He went Clemson, Washington, Oregon, Notre Dame, and Georgia, and he's like he just looked at the schools and said, okay, they must be good because they went to that school.
Yeah, they win games. I think that's a pretty solid draft strategy to stay with the successful programs, but it doesn't always work. It obviously doesn't always work.
They haven't hit on one of them yet,
right?
Right. So, and is that an organizational thing? Because we talk about it's not always the player.
I don't think Fontenot knows what he's doing.
I don't either, man.
I mean, and this is what I'm telling you. We talk about who's your first round draft pick or who's your free agents, like where are you going who's your head coach, who's your OC, the GM. The GM is the most important guy in the room. I mean, because this is still a talent league. Yes, you need coaching. There's no question about that. I can go find coaches. If I'm good at what I do, I can go find coaches. And Jason Light did that with Bruce Arians, right? But it's getting the right draft picks. It's about personnel, man. It's about the Jimmies and Joes.
Yeah.
Yes, the X's and O's are important, but it's more about the Jimmies and Joes.
I like Terry Fontenot, like as a dude. He's a Southern Louisiana guy, just like me. He's from Lake Charles. He went to Tulane. But look at where he came up in the organization that he came from. The Saints, right? As a scout, director of pro scouting, then an assistant general manager. That hasn't been the most successful organization since he's been there, okay? So I don't know. Well, honestly, I'm not sure what the Falcons were thinking bringing him on board. I'll just throw that out there.
Well, and I'm just not sure that Raheem was on board with Kirk Cousins thing.
You'd like to think, right?
I don't know if it was pressure from Arthur Blank being, I don't want to develop another rookie quarterback, because that was the thing. It was like Desmond Ridder. Okay, that didn't work. I ain't got time for this. I'm 89, 100 years old. Like, let's go get us a decent quote. Okay, that guy's got a good track record. He still maybe has a little tread on the tires. Let's get him for a couple of years and then draft the quarterback. Well, again,
I mean, they're going through the same thing in Atlanta, kind of with the ownership that we're doing here in Dallas a little bit with Jerry Jones, who's 80, just turned 82, has all those glory days from the 90s with Jimmy Johnson, and wants to win another Super Bowl. And he's like, I can't go through another rebuild. I'm 82. Mm-hmm. So let's keep adding these pieces thinking it'll work, when probably 2 years ago, you probably should have broken it down and started a little bit of a rebuild, because it ain't happening with Dak. Or a lot of pieces here. I don't think it's happening with Dak. So, but he's not going to throw him away.
And what's the problem in Dallas? GM.
Ownership. And the GM,
the GM. What we get, where we come back to? We come back to GM.
Here's a deep dive I'm going to do on Jerry, and I've been meaning to do this for months. It's going to take a lot of work, research, and I hate doing work. Like everyone knows that. I need to pull her name off the screen. Sorry about that.
Just
look, even if, and no one gives him proper credit. Even if Jerry Jones was the best GM on the best team in the early to mid 90s, which technically he was, even though it was really Jimmy pulling the strings and the trades and stuff, right?
That's right.
Even if Jerry Jones was 1,000% responsible for those 3 Super Bowls as the GM, that was 40 years ago, 35 years ago. Tell me another GM for a team that was good in the early 90s. I don't know, the Niners were good. The Packers started to get good. The Chargers were kind of good. They went to a Super Bowl in 95. Whoever that's still in the league today, still being a GM.
No,
there isn't one. They're
Most
all
of them are dead, and the other ones are probably retired, about to be dead.
Exactly. So, Jerry, even if you were good back then, you're 82. Give it up.
No, but he doesn't do the legwork. Obviously, his son Steven's doing all that. He's like the de facto GM, right?
Well, no, it's Will
Steven's
McClay
the one that's talking
GM.
about drafting Johnny Manziel for a Pro Bowl.
He did at the time, yeah. But look, it's Will McClay, and everybody has all the faith in Will McClay. He's been behind the drafts the last 4 or 5 years, and they've been pretty good drafts. But Will McClay is your de facto GM. When Jerry's gone, God rest his soul, I have no doubt Steven will name Will McClay, if he's still here with the organization, as GM, and Steven will be more behind the scenes as like the financial guy, which is what he's been since they bought the team. That's his career is in finance.
Yeah, he's running the business.
Yeah, he's on the business end, but nobody thinks, because Steven's very much like Jerry. He will still run things from behind the scenes because that's how he was taught by his daddy.
Yeah.
Nobody here thinks anything's going to get better when Jerry's gone, to be honest with you. And that's terrible, because there's no hope for the future for the Cowboys.
Yeah. But they're still living off those glory days, and they got to at some point do something, but it's the star, it's the brand keeps going.
It's also a rating.
Yeah, exactly. All right, quick break. When we come back, I want to get into some college football signings. We got some movement. We started the show with the big one going to the Gators. We'll recap that. The Bolts are back in action tonight. We'll preview that for you, and a couple other quick hits on the NFL. Stay with us. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, coming to you live from the Chiefs Law Group studio in beautiful South Tampa on South Howard. I have to stroll out today and have a little Thursday lunch before we get back at it. By the way, programming notes. What's your favorite football show, by the way, Tim Ham? IndyCar Tim?
Good Morning Football.
Good Morning Football. Guess what show that your favorite host here is going to be on tomorrow morning at 10:30 during our show? We were simulcast my appearance on Good Morning
What?
Football.
No, really?
Yeah.
Almost said no shit.
Yeah. Which don't say that tomorrow. You say it today.
Okay.
Yeah. So tomorrow, so this is not the 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Good Morning Football show with Peter, the one you love.
This is the overtime.
This is the overtime, the syndicated version that they put out to local stations. At MOR TV here is running locally, who I work with, and we do our Bucs pregame shows. We were supposed to do 2 this year until the NFL pulled the rug out from under us. So yeah, I'll be on that tomorrow at 10:30. We're going to do it. So you and I need to figure out how I'm going to be on both shows at the same time.
Why don't we just play whatever you're doing?
Yeah.
Like whatever it is, we'll have
I knew
you
you'd figure it out. That's brilliant. See,
Yeah.
I knew you.
Like we will give way to Good Morning Football overtime, and then we'll just whatever you're talking about, we're just going to show it on the show. So
yeah. So I guess I have to use my laptop to be on with them. So then we'll take my phone and we'll put that as the camera here, and we'll like eavesdrop on what we're doing. Yeah. That should work, right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
We'll make
will we be able to hear their side though? Yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyway, we'll be on tomorrow at 10:30. I'll be live on the overtime show nationwide and all that fun stuff as we talk a little Buccaneers football. Everybody wants to talk Bucs football.
Wow.
So yeah, that'll be fun.
So you need to make sure you tell Kyle Brandt I'm trying to get him on our show.
All right. Yeah. Well, I've got the PR person now here that I'm talking with. We have a call today. So I'm like, hey, how about a little reciprocation?
Yeah. Love to have Kyle Brandt on.
I want to get, we'll have him talk about some angry runs and our guy, Rashad White. Yeah. They're all about the Bucs.
Because, I've become a Kyle Brandt fan because of Good Morning Football, right? I have no history with him before this show. I think he's great on the show. I love his personality and his energy. I had no idea he was a reality television star before he went into sports. Did you know this?
I did not know that.
I'm talking
to John. Surprise me.
I'm talking to our
Survivor.
I'm talking to our buddy John Gerber, who is a reality TV show junkie.
Right.
Like his favorite show right now is like The Bachelorette or whatever. So I'm talking to him about wanting to get Kyle Brandt on the show. He's like, "Oh man, I loved him on The Real World." I'm like, okay, I have so many questions, Johnny. Number one, you watched The Real World. He's like, I every episode, I never missed it. Apparently, Kyle Brandt got his start in TV on The Real World on MTV.
I did not know that.
And that's the kind of crap I want to talk to him about, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's got such a wealth of knowledge about nostalgia.
Yeah.
Not just football, but, just pop culture in general, which I love when they, they kind of go off the rails on that.
Yep.
It like an aside here. So last night after, our little annual Christmas party at Palma Sea under the stars on the 10th tee, we had all this food and the bar was outside. Oh, it's fantastic. Really good. was a blessed day yesterday. I got to see my daughter. We have lunch or breakfast at our favorite place on Davis Island. Then do the big show with Chris Lodville coming on, and then play a little golf yesterday. Beautiful Palm Lucia. Then we had our Christmas party. I mean, come on. That's a day. That's a day. So then we topped it off, went back to my buddy Brian Fusilo's house, and we play. You ever play like Top That on Spotify?
Yeah.
Like, all right, what's your favorite banger song that you just like when you're ready to go play something or do something that you want to get jacked up? Like, which one do you play? And I'm like, Rosalita, Bruce Springsteen. That's my go-to. He's like, AC/DC. Which one was it? Was it Thunderstruck? Or no, it was
probably Thunderstruck or Highway to Hell.
Yeah, Highway to Hell. Yeah. And we went back and forth like on all the bangers, like, okay, favorite like this song or that song.
Yeah.
And we're just like pumping it up, like volume 50. And it was so fun. I mean, music,
awesome.
Getting into the nostalgia of music to me, because it brings back so many great memories and all just the music does that to you. And anyway, so I love with Kyle Brand. They always, do music. He's a big hair band guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good stuff. So
Peter Strager always does his on the regular Good Morning Football. He always does his NFL trivia.
Yeah.
And it's always throwbacks to like the 90s or the early 2000s with guys. And it's hard stuff. Like, here's a play in the Jets when they faced the Dolphins in 1999. Is this play going to, and you watch the beginning of the play, is this going to play end with a interception by this random player,
right?
A touchdown by this random player that everybody forgot, or he'll get 4 out, and it's crazy because as soon as he brings it up, I'm like, holy crap, I remember that,
Yeah, right, yeah. Awesome. So good stuff.
I can't wait for that.
I like they all wear gear, right? They all wear.
They change clothes sometimes during their segments because they just wear whatever segment they're doing.
So should I be wearing some Bucs gear tomorrow?
Oh, dude, I would for sure. Put it on for their segment if you're talking Bucs, yeah.
Well, I'll talk to the producer today and we'll figure that out. But I don't have any fresh gear. All I got is like a Brady.
Wear your creamsicle.
Jersey. I don't want to wear the Brady jersey.
Wear your creamsicle.
I do. I have a creamsicle shirt, but I don't have like a jersey or official jersey or anything.
Wear that jacket that I just sent. You look good in that.
Oh, that's right.
It's about
there you go. They'll love that nostalgia. Oh, yes. Speaking of nostalgia. All right.
Tiny.
Good. Okay. All right. Anyway, where were we going to do some
college
NFL
football
hits here? Yeah. In college football. Yeah. So Oklahoma. How about Oklahoma? They get Mateer, the quarterback from Washington State.
Dude, he is good, man.
Yeah. So they hired his quarterback coach and his OC, brought him to Oklahoma, and obviously he was going to follow. So there's a big deal, right? So Oklahoma now, you get the right quarterback. You don't know if he's the right guy, but he ain't DJU. Holy crap, he ain't DJU. He's not a this is a younger quarterback, obviously, that's played really, really well in his freshman season at Washington State. So now he goes to Oklahoma and, maybe saves the coach's job there. We'll see.
Dude, he played high school ball like 2 miles down from where I live.
Okay.
Here,
I didn't know that.
Little Elm, Texas. He's from here, which same exact high school that Cole Beasley played at before his NFL career, before he went to SMU. But, dude, I don't know how some of these Texas schools did not recruit John Mateer more because he was not recruited here in Texas at all.
Yeah.
And I saw that the experience I have with John Mateer is, of course, I cover the Texas Tech Red Raiders for Athlon Sports. Texas Tech went in there in week 2 at Washington State, and it was a tribute game to Jesus, now I'm forgetting names again.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Ex-Texas Tech coach and Mississippi State that just died, Mike. Good God. Anyway, he coached at Tech and he coached at Washington State too. And dude, Mateer ran for 198 yards.
Holy crap.
And he threw for like another 140 against the Tech defense. It was ridiculous. And I was like, John Mateer for the Heisman. Of course, that was week 2, right? I mean,
this is a big shift in power, right?
Mike Leach is who I was trying to think of.
Yeah, the great Mike Leach, the great Mike Leach. Miss him. Yeah. So, and then Colorado gets Caden Salter, the kid from Liberty, who had 32 touchdowns in his first year.
Yep. Can
run it, can throw it, Shedeur Sanders-esque.
Yep.
The question is, will Deion be the coach? be interesting to see if he goes with Shedeur. I don't think he does. Like, I don't like the NFL. That's not a thing. You're not going to coach your kid in the NFL, are you?
Dude, I wouldn't put anything past those two, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to go for a couple of years.
They're doing different things. Ain't no doubt about that.
I mean, he'll be the number one pick, right? So it's going to be the Giants, which Dean's already said he won't let him go to the Giants, or it'll be the Raiders.
Yeah, can he do that? Like,
I don't know. John Elway did it.
If you're the Giants, do you call his bluff and say, no, we're taking him anyway?
You have to. Because at the very worst, you have what happened with Elway and the Colts. Then you had Elway, if you recall, went on, I think, to get drafted by the Yankees too. And I think he was going to go play baseball out of Stanford rather than join the NFL because he didn't want to play for the Baltimore Colts. Right. Literally right before they moved to Indianapolis. It was weird. Like he was totally right in his thoughts.
Right. Uh-huh.
Then we had the same thing with Eli Manning, right? He was going to get drafted by the Chargers and Archie's like, nope, we're not playing. So they drafted him and had to immediately trade him. Which worked out well for the Giants, but so that could happen. They could draft him, and at the very least, they own his rights. He doesn't have any eligibility left in college. He can't stay in college if he gets drafted, so they're going to have to work out a trade or something. If I'm the Giants, I completely call that bluff.
Well, what I would do if I'm the Giants is open up the market and say, okay, who wants Shedeur and Dion? You get your package deal. Yeah. Come get them. Give us 3 first-round picks. And they're all yours. Well, hey, that's the going rate, right? Yeah. Then you can rebuild your team and go sign Sam Darnold. I mean, if I'm the Giants, give me that. Give me 3 first-round picks, and I'll go get a seasoned quarterback, that has obviously played really, really well this year. And then you can marry him with a good OC, and then you've turned your team around like that. Instead of drafting Shedeur Sanders and hoping some way you finagle him to come play someplace where he doesn't want to play and his dad doesn't want him to play. I mean, that's just that's bad business. I'd just say, okay, you don't want to play here, fine. We got your rights. Who wants them? And then any team in the league who
you have all the bargaining power. Yeah.
You have all the bargaining power. You're open to, 32 teams. Obviously they don't 32 want them, but 31 want them, but it's the opportunity. That's how you redo your team. That's why you do what the Houston Texans did, right? You get all those picks and you remake your team.
Made them immediate contenders in one season.
The Chicago Bears could have done that, but they effed up, all their draft picks. It's, but that's the opportunity. If you're the Giants, you take it, in my opinion.
Yep.
All right. You had some other quick hits.
So real quick, interesting stories out of, we were talking Kirk Cousins. He may or may not be back in Atlanta next year. If he's not, they're going to have to cut him because that way he gets his guaranteed money. So I would not, he has a no trade clause. So if I'm Kirk Cousins, I don't waive that for anybody because I want my guaranteed money, which means they will have paid him $92 million for a partial season's worth of work. And good for you, Kirk Cousins, by the way. Take it. The number one destination for Kirk Cousins I'm seeing around the league, the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, my God.
Who are still stuck in their own terrible quarterback contract with Deshaun Watson.
I mean,
they still owe him.
If you can't see Kirk Cousins is cooked, you should not be an NFL GM. Come on.
I mean, this is Cleveland.
Shit. Well, there you go.
And I give Andrew Berry a lot of credit, but I don't give him any credit for the Deshaun. Although, who knew Deshaun Watson was going to fall off this? Like, we predicted the Kirk Cousins thing, right?
Yeah, that wasn't hard.
Deshaun Watson was going to fall off the cliff like he did. I didn't. Remember Atlanta? Atlanta was in the running for Deshaun Watson that season, right? He was supposed to go to Atlanta, is what reports were. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's the Browns.
Well, listen, Deshaun Watson I was always a huge fan of his. Mm-hmm. Huge fan of his. At Clemson, just as a person, the outside veneer certainly looked like he was a great dude. I've talked to people that have worked with him in college and just speak just so highly of him. You couldn't find anybody say a bad word about Deshaun Watson. And he was a hell of a player. I mean, a hell of a player. And when all that crap went down, his mindset just changed. He lost his confidence. I think he lost his ability to, go out into public and be confident. You think everybody's staring at you and what they're thinking. That's just a weird deal. And clearly he just couldn't play anymore. But I thought they gave up too much to get him. The making of that contract actually guaranteed after all the crap that he went through. I thought that was going to be a disaster, and it turned out to be so.
It did. And the news out of the Washington Commanders, who the Bucs will be playing here in 2 weeks. Or 3 weeks.
The Falcons. Falcons got him in 2 weeks. The Bucs already dispatched.
That's right. I'm getting my NFC South schedules confused. The Washington Commanders, both of their kickers on their roster. They have two kickers on their roster, JP. Zane Gonzalez, and then the practice squad kicker, Greg Joseph. Both of them missed practice Wednesday. They are expected to miss practice Thursday, and they're not sure if either one will be available Sunday. Why, you ask? Because they're both in the hospital awaiting the birth of their first child, however that's worded.
Oh, now listen, this man being a woman thing has gotten out of control. Now you're telling me these kickers are having babies?
Well, their wives are having babies.
Oh, their wives are having the babies.
Yeah.
And they're at the hospital for a week?
I mean, supposedly both of them or one of them, it's any minute now. It hasn't happened yet as of this morning because I checked. So they're waiting. Like, can labor go 4 days?
No.
Like, I don't know. I've had 6 kids.
Not in these hospitals. Are you kidding me? Bring it into Pitocin. Let's go.
I mean, you can induce, right? Like,
of course, yes, and they do it all the time.
That's weird.
And not for the health of the baby or the mother, by the way.
Timing, right?
To get them the hell out and get the more money coming in. That's what they do.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's very bad. In the old days, you just wait, but now it's like, nope, we got to get you through and get our money done. Well, and it brings out a lot of complications. Well, whatever. But point is, they ain't having the baby. Let your wife do the business. You go to work.
Go to work.
In this situation, come on now.
Dude, you're a kicker.
You're a kicker. Get your ass over there.
You don't go to the hospital until your phone goes off. It's happening now. Then you go to the hospital. She gives birth. You kiss her on the cheek. You hold your kid. Maybe you wipe the spooge off of him. Whatever you want to do. Hand it back. You go back to work.
You're not doing anything. You're part of the problem. I mean, on my second child, the lovely Shay, when I got the call that she was headed to the hospital, and I was out playing in a charity golf tournament in a 5-some out of McDill Air Force Base, and we were like killing it, and I was hitting bombs off the tee. This is back in the day where I could hit it 300, and I'm hitting bombs. So I get the call. And we're on like 12, and then I think it's 13 and 14 are back-to-back par 5s.
Ouch.
And the boys look at me and they go, we got back-to-back par 5s coming up, bro. You're crushing it.
We need you.
And I'm like, half hour is not going to do. What am I going to do there? Sit there and go, push.
You're not delivering the kid.
I'm not doing anything.
So watching.
I'm like, on my way, honey.
Sweetheart, can you FaceTime me? Just FaceTime me. It'll be like I'm there.
After we get done with these 2 par 5s.
Yeah.
So we did. So we eagled them both, and then I left.
And maybe the most outrageous story, JP, coming out of the NFL.
Is that bad? Do I get bad marks? I got there in plenty of time. She got the epidural. She's watching Oprah while she's pushing out the kid.
You get an extra 5 years on your man card for that.
Right?
For man enough.
High marks.
Yeah.
Yep, priorities.
The craziest,
plenty of time.
The craziest story coming out of the NFL world, of course, involves either the Cowboys or the Jets or the Browns. This time it's the Jets. Remember last offseason, the Broncos were done with Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
After drafting him out of the first round out of out of Alabama, he was a huge disappointment, never caught on, and they were done. So they put him up for trade. Highest bidder, who wants him, come get him.
That's right.
The Jets were looking for a wide receiver, which is weird because they've got some good ones. And so Woody Johnson, the owner, the heir to the Johnson & Johnson fortune, says, hey, let's investigate this. Let's go look at this guy. So the GM, whoever just got fired, I can't remember his name, comes in and says, hey, we like this guy. Let's talk about a package. Woody Johnson said, instead of listening to his GM, right, as an owner should do, you're the one that hired him, trust him. Well, let me look at him myself. Where does Woody Johnson go to look at Jerry Jeudy's value in his brain? He goes online and Googles Jerry Jeudy Madden rating. Jerry Jeudy did not have a great Madden rating, obviously. Whatever it was. I don't say it was 79, was probably about accurate. Woody Johnson calls the GM back in his office. No, we're out. His Madden rating 79. I'm out. I'm not interested.
Are you kidding me?
Woody Johnson didn't veto, but he canceled the offer to trade.
He nixed it.
Nixed the trade for Jerry Jeudy because of his Madden rating. Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, be so happy that you have, at least on the football side, a competent owner and GM who don't do things like this.
My God.
And look what Jerry Jeudy, by the way, is doing in Cleveland. He's having a career season.
Upping his Madden rating.
He'll probably be in the 80s next year. Hey, Woody, you want him now? If it's 85? Like, what is the cutoff, Woody Johnson? Where's your Madden rating cutoff before you want a guy? Like, I have to know.
And players are like upset at their Madden ratings and this, that, and the other. I'm like, it's a game, for God's sakes, people.
Dude, I heard that and I was like, you've got, like, even Jerry Jones is not that dysfunctional. Yeah. That franchise is a mess.
Yep. I agree. All right. Should we finish up here with comments?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Got to start with my man, Rick, as we were talking about our favorite bangers, songs that we love to. And I went Rosalita Springsteen. He goes, quit lying, JP. It was more like Britney Spears is my go-to.
Dude, I love Britney Spears. Don't get me on Britney Spears.
Do not wear the creamsicle on the air.
Still my future ex-wife.
Look, there's, Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Oh, my God. That whole album.
Yeah, come on. Who didn't love that?
Hey, I did have the pick as a 30-something-year-old single guy when that song came out. I was 28. And recently divorced. I did have the 17-year-old Britney Spears poster on my wall in my apartment. I'm not going to lie.
That's troublesome. I'm not going to lie. That's troublesome.
I planned on marrying her one day. I mean, that's okay, right?
Oh, my God. Christopher Cole said, I'd rather draft Travis Hunter at number 1. If you need a quarterback, you can't do that. You got to have a quarterback. But I think Travis Hunter is going to be one hell. I mean, think about it. You're getting a first-round wide receiver and a first-round corner.
I mean, if you're going to play him both ways in the NFL, I don't know that you are.
I think you can play him both ways situationally. It's NFL games are what, 120, 140 snaps in there, right?
Somewhere max, max
140, right? And he's playing over 100 snaps, every 120 snaps. So you use him situationally. You keep him. I think you could probably keep him to about 80 snaps and get what you need out of him as a corner and a wide receiver.
I mean, but you got to play him like either as a wide receiver where he's an occasional defensive back or as a defensive back where he's an occasional wide receiver.
But see, I think where the genius is here is, especially if you go to a team that runs a lot of man, is, you don't need a whole lot of, he's not an intricate part of the like for Todd Bowles defense, which obviously is much more complex. But if you're just saying, hey man, you're in man, you're traveling with Mike Evans. You're traveling because a lot of teams do this. They just go shut him down. Just follow him. We're doing stuff over here. You follow him and play, and you can do that. And from a wide receiver standpoint, I think obviously he's going to be more involved in the offense, in the offensive game plans, especially. So I'd say probably him as a wide receiver with some spots defensively. That's how I would do it. But you're getting two great players, really, and I think it's well worth it. Nathan Elliott says, JP is short on Bucs gear. Call Brian Ford. I might have to. I'm on my way over there, so maybe I'll text him and go, hey, I need some gear to wear on
TV.
Football. Give me some good fresh gear that you're wearing this week. They have the theme every week that they wear on the sidelines. Maybe you can slide me one of those and we can preview it.
There you go.
Mike Edge says, as if Stu sells the team, does the new ownership get the city and county subsidies as well as the gas plant land and development rights? They would have an option for it. As my understanding, if the new owner can, obviously the Rays can opt out of the deal, which is what they're probably going to do unless they're going to litigate it and hold up the redevelopment and hold it hostage until the city capitulates and gives them tons and tons of money so they can finally just develop it. That's where I think they're going to go. That's what I think they're going to do. He'll sell the team and try to hold on to the land rights. But anyway, I think if there is new ownership would not want to build in St. Pete. At least that's what I've been told. They would want to build in Tampa. That's where Major League Baseball wants the stadium. That's where the long-term revenue. The only reason they were going to build in St. Pete was because of all the upfront money. Now, I don't think they were ever going to build in St. Pete, the Rays, but they were going to get that huge upfront money. That's where the deal came from. And now suddenly they like St. Pete. So I think, just my personal opinion, that if the new ownership comes in, they will do so in order to stop it. They'll opt out of that contract. Say, well, gosh, they can make so much money with it. I get that, but I don't think, again, it's a failed location. They don't. Anybody who owns this team does not want to build in the same failed location, because that restricts your revenue for the next 30 years. Yes, you make some money up front, but your next 30 years, you're sacrificing hundreds of millions of dollars a year that you could be making in premium seating and sponsorship. So everybody knows that's where the golden goose is. So I would think that they would do that. That's my opinion. But from a legal standpoint, I know they can opt out, and they wouldn't be tied to that contract. James says, of what is said, Atlanta has hurt their franchise with Cousins signing. So great you pick up Penix, and next year you're in salary cap hell. So what good does that do him? Everyone making it seem like Atlanta's smart. No, I don't think it was smart at all. I think they screwed the pooch on the whole deal.
I don't think anybody thinks they're
smart. With all the resources that they have, they ended up with $100 million cap hit for guaranteed money for a bad quarterback. That can't be good. That money could be going to pay other free agents. Right. So that's awful. And then you expended that. I think Penix was a good pick. I do. I think it was a good pick, but then, use that money to go get your pass rushers in free agency. Right?
Yep.
And other players that you might need as well. Christopher Cole says it doesn't take long to rebuild and become a winner again. Maybe a year or two. Are you talking about college football or pro football?
I don't know.
I think it's easier in college football now.
Yeah, well, the turnover is so much more. Yeah.
Danny Mercado says, let's not forget Penix is 24. So yes, he's a rookie, but he's got a ton of college experience. Yes, you're absolutely right. And that's why I think he kind of hits the ground running. I think the Falcons can rip off 3 straight with Michael Penix.
Look how that experience benefited Jaden Daniels coming into the league. All that starting college experience. You can do the same thing for Penix.
It's immeasurable. So yeah, but then your first big game is going to be on the road at Washington, night game, 20-degree weather, Sunday Night Football. That's a tough ask. But Penix in a big
maybe
game.
He's up for it.
Yeah, maybe he is. Christopher Cole again says some Falcons players are not too happy with the switch. I think it's been universally accepted.
Who would not be happy with the switch the way Cousins is playing?
Yeah, I can't
imagine that. And for them to for a player to be vocal about it too at that point.
Rick says Falcons look brilliant. That's funny. Jameis was also great on the whiteboard. Penix will start strong but come up short and disappoint. JP can relate. Well, wait a minute. You been talking to Ashley? Yeezy says nightmare fuel. Bucs going on a playoff run in spite of the defense. Liam gets hired as Saints head coach, drafts DJU, and eats our lunch for 15 years.
Nice.
Yeezy is smoking something this morning, and I want some.
Wait, why does he think DJU is going to be in the NFL?
He declared for the NFL.
I know, but why does he think he's okay?
I think you wanted to put the X in front, not the N.
Yeah. Probably.
That's where you're going. If there. Game Show Connection says, first time listener, this is pretty cool. Hey, Game Show.
Welcome Connection. To the show.
Welcome aboard. We love you. Game Show Connection.
Nice.
Love old game shows. I was big, I loved Password.
Match Game PM.
Oh, Match Game with Gene Rayburn.
Yeah, love Gene Rayburn.
Oh my God,
my favorite was the Hollywood Squares though. Back in
Hollywood
the 70s.
Squares with Paul Lynde in the middle square.
Because that's a pretty good Paul Lynde, by the way.
Thank you.
Because they would always tell dirty jokes.
Oh, that so dirty.
Kind of under the table, like that you weren't supposed to get, And as a kid, my dad would explain them to me. Like, Dad, why is everyone laughing? And he'd explain it to me. I'm like, and then I hear my mom yelling from the other room, "Shut up! Don't tell him that!" Loved Hollywood Squares.
And Paul Lynde was, God bless him, just as flaming as you
Charles Nelson Riley.
Yeah, Charles Nelson Riley with the ascot. God. Oh, and then they would always have some hotties on there, like Adrienne Barbeau would have her boobies up there, and Charo.
Brett Summers.
Coochie. Oh, yeah.
Brett Summers was a hottie back in the day.
Oh, Macharo. Come on. And then she'd go on the Love Boat. Oh,
on every episode of the Love Boat, it seems.
I'm here for it. I mean, like in the beginning, they do the rundown of who the guest stars are. And I'd be like yelling to my brother, Chara's on! Chara's in the episode!
I had a crush on Julie, the cruise director.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Julie was cool. Julie. I never understood why the doc was like a heartthrob. The doc,
Bernie Koppel?
Yeah, like the chicks wrote, "Oh, it's the doc." I'm like, the dorky glasses.
He was always, for me, he was always Siegfried on Get Smart. Like that's how I'll always remember.
Oh yeah. And Isaac, the bartender, had the blender going. He was dishing out relationship advice.
God, he was so great. He made me want to be a bartender.
Fantastic. Oh yeah, and then
I've never been on a cruise though.
Followed by Fantasy Island.
And then Fred Grandy became like a senator or something, or a congressman.
Remember Ricardo Montalban, fine Corinthian leather.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Tattoo, the plane, boss, the plane.
You know what's funny? I saw an interview.
Who got off the plane? It's like, oh, it's Adrian Barbeau. Whoa.
I saw an interview with Ricardo Montalban one time about that Chrysler commercial that he did.
Yeah.
With fine or rich Corinthian leather. Like, then they asked him, dude, what's Corinthian leather? And he said, there's no such thing. They just thought it sounded really good with my accent. So that's what he would say on the commercial. Corinthian. There's no such thing as Corinthian leather.
Worked for me.
Like,
sounded
what would that
really
even
good.
mean?
They were right.
It sounded great.
Yeah, cool. That was fun. Anything else?
James brings us back down to earth here with football talk.
Yeah, sorry. Back to that. All right, that's about that. Okay, that was good. Thank you guys for jumping in. We got most of the comments in. Thank you very much. Our thanks to Sandra Golden for joining us from 92.9 The Game in Atlanta. Give us all the scoop what's going on in the Falcons. Timmy, great job by you. Tomorrow we'll be on the usual time, 10 to noon. We'll be simulcasting on Good Morning Football, as yours truly will do a guest appearance and talk some Buccaneers. If you have some talking points you want me to bring up, hit me up on the X machine or Facebook, and we'll see if we can work it in tomorrow. Have a great Evan Klosky is going to join us from Tampa Bay 10 tomorrow. So we'll have them, and of course we'll beat up Tito for his stupid picks in fantasy football. Have a great day, everybody. Go Bolts tonight. I'll see you at Amalie Arena.